What's up? This is the remodel not shaved bit.
This is the hair pulled up. We got to get out of the house. Beautiful weather.
Yep.
We're frisbee golfing.
Oh yeah.
What? Ooh.
Frisbee golf.
Frisbee golf. Because we're trying to do something else to mix up our workout, and it's beautiful, and the dog's out with us. So yeah.
Yep.
So that's and we're having really good conversations out here.
So if we run off or cut the video shorts because the dog just ran off.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But we had a really good.
I had
really
an
good topic.
epiphany.
Yeah.
Here's my epiphany. So, to be honest, we are 24/7 family all of the time. Not a break. We homeschool. We work from home. We are together all of the time. All of the time. So, I covet's the best word, and desire a time alone with my wife, at home, just doing nothing or out like this. You know, I really like that, and so
I do too. You are scruffy.
we plan that her parents would take one child and my parents would take another child. And on that day yesterday, when she was delivering all the kids or leaving kids at places, my truck broke down while she was in it. And she called and said, "My truck's shaking, what do I do?" And she's, around Port Angeles, so that's a 3-hour drive for me to go help with anything, so I couldn't help her. Her and Xander prayed over the truck and it started working greatly, or just enough until we got it home. And so
finally last night,
while she was doing the godly thing and praying, I was throwing a fit like a little baby because I like sex, and I like sex with her, and we were abstaining and being intimate, and we were going to have a nice sexual day, and that all went through because God punished me because my truck didn't work. Yeah, seriously. And so I was
that's all the things you were thinking?
Yelling at God, pissed at everything.
Wow.
And then I calmed down.
Because you thought I would just have to come home with the kids, or one
because a
kid at
stupid kid will
least,
come home. Yeah, not that my kids are stupid,
No.
but it's just you get the frustration where you're planning something special. I'll tell you about a
things don't
pool
work
later.
right.
Yeah,
Your expectations
yeah.
don't come to pass, and you
just-
get frustrated.
It's very, very frustrating. And she had a conversation, and she's like, "Your attitude yesterday, it just makes me feel like you expect so much during sex." And I'm like, wait, my attitude yesterday, I was pouting. And I think men, we pout a lot, and I'll pick on us. We mature later, and sometimes we mature not at all, in my case of the pouting. But what she was doing is she was like, "Look, I solved the problem because I told you to come pick me up at the ferry, and then you can drive Xander down to your mom's." And I said, "Wait a minute, I solved the problem because I called my mom and made sure it was okay for her to meet me somewhere to pick up Xander." So we were both working on solving the problem, but what it came down to is that she didn't wait for me to solve the problem. She figured out that I was pouting, and she took it on herself. And I'm wondering how many wives do that, to where you don't let your husband actually step up and be a man and solve a problem because you're tired of him pouting. And yes, that's me. I pout. But you kind of get the idea, is that if she would have waited, I would have come back with her with pretty much the same solution that she thought of. But she didn't let me mature in that. So if your husband is a pouter like me...
This doesn't start an argument. It was just a really good conversation. Like, oh, this makes sense. This is good.
Right. Well, if I am emotionally invested and am working hard to...
Here, I hold it.
To make a special moment, just like women do this on bridezillas, that's on their weddings. You're trying to make this special moment, and then everything starts failing. You start pouting and going into rage mode. I do the same thing with us on date nights, red days, sexual days, or whatever. I plan this whole entire thing, and it has to go according to plan. And if it doesn't go according to plan, I pout like a little baby. And then I work on solving the problem. The issue is in a married situation where the wife is always fighting for control over the marriage instead of yielding it to their husbands, then you don't allow your husband to grow in maturity and to face problems looking at them on a different level. Yes, there can still be pouting and problem solving, so I'm giving myself an out.
Yeah.
But at that point, I'm growing into the maturity of who she wants me to be and the leader of the household, because I am now solving the issue that has been created, and she's looking to me for guidance rather than there's my dumb husband who's pouting again, and all he thinks about is sex, or all he thinks about is video games, all he thinks about is drinking with the guys, and I have to sit here alone and solve the problem. That's not coming together at all. It's more of a, hey hubby, I know this is gonna make you upset. Can you solve this? Or are you just gonna pout about it? And at some point you can call your husband out on that. Stop pouting and solve the problem, or I'm gonna solve it for you.
And sometimes we have to let them fail at some things before they figure it out. Because if we solve every problem, they're going to feel useless, and they'll be like, "Why should I say anything at all? She knows it all. Everything I say is dumb anyway." So
and that's evident in every single commercial that you watch.
Seriously,
that the man is stupid, making the wrong choices,
Yes.
and the woman comes to save the day, and that it's completely backwards about how we were designed. We are supposed to be the leader of the household, and we are supposed to be deferred to when making decisions, and we are the ones naturally that want to solve problems. That's why.
And then it's also biblical for you to ask me to come alongside of you. Let's figure this out together, and ask for advice. And
right, I stuck my tongue out of you.
I'm sorry. What did you say? What were you gonna say that I interrupted you?
And the reason why this is important is because then you're looking at the problem together versus she's always going to solve the problem and get myself out of a bind, and I never have to grow up.
Yep.
And that's where we are societally. The husband never has to grow up, and the wife is empowered to do everything, rather than you are one unit together solving all the problems in the world. I'm making sure I get my fingers correct. So again, you are one, but you are together, and you're working on the problem together, rather than one of you, didn't want to use that finger, one of you just takes all the responsibility and solves all the problems without the other person, because the other person's off pouting because he's not going to get laid.
Right.
Or play video games, or whatever's there.
Yeah.
And so
okay, now you got to hold it.
For women, I would encourage you to wait. To wait. If there is a problem,
what he'll do.
Wait.
And it's not a condescending thing to let him to wait, because you're like, I'm just waiting for you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do about this?
Yeah, why don't you?
don't want to do
no,
that.
No, don't say that, attitude. Why don't you wait and pray? Hey, this thing sucks. Dear Lord, help out my husband to make a wise decision.
Yes.
And that's all. And that's it.
That's it.
And then wait.
And wait.
And
see what happens.
If he has the maturity and the cojones to go, I can't think of a solution. Can you? Then at least you're coming together to solve the problem, rather than one of you always taking the responsibility and solving all of the problems. And then the issue is that later, when she has a problem and he goes in the problem solver mode, then she's upset because she just wants the emotional security it's not about solving the problem for her. It's about being validated and being heard.
Yeah.
We don't know how to do that well. So again, husbands, wait. Let your wife talk. Give her validation. And then at least you can come together and go, hey honey, I'm really, really sorry that this all happened. Would you like a solution? And then at that point you're leading.
I offer a solution.
Yeah, you're leading your household.
Would you like me to tell you what you should do? Because I thought of this at the beginning.
Right, and don't should all over your wife.
Right, no
or
shitting
husband.
all over each other.
Should, not the other word you're thinking of, because you have dirty minds.
But that's why it's funny. Don't shit all over anybody.
All right.
All right, we love you guys, and we will see you next Monday. Enjoy the weather.
And I am hot and sweaty.
All right. Ooh, is that what I smell?
It's the dog. And I farted.